object of amusement to some, the hippopotamus can cut a crocodile or a human in half with a single bite. Prompting an axiom of the Serengeti: never come between a hippo and its territorial waters. Tens of thousands of animals dwell here. Others come in migrations of the sky. Flamingos from Namibia. Storks from as far as Europe and Asia. Like privileged cousins of the migrating herds outside, wildebeests and zebras within the crater walls need only wander from pasture to pasture. Dangers abound here as elsewhere. Zebras cluster together in a tangle of stripes, confusing to predators. The horses of Africa appear placid, but they have never been domesticated. The black rhinoceros, for all its formidable presence and frequent marking of territory, is a vulnerable giant, poached almost to extinction for the value of its horn. Ngorongoro crater is one of the few protected refuges where the black rhino endures. For a baboon troop, much of the day passes attending to young, grooming, and socializing. Though the job of protecting the lion pride in its territory belongs to the males, the work of hunting and raising young falls to the females. Play helps prepare the young for the violent encounters to come. The vaunted power of lions is matched by a prodigious capacity for rest. Typically, 20 hours a day is spent in regal slumber. When lions mate, however, they do so on average every 25 minutes, day and night, without feeding for 3 or 4 days. It has been estimated that 3,000 matings occur for every cub that survives its first year. These lands are also the cradle of humanity. Gashed into the eastern Serengeti plains near Ngorongoro is Olduvai Gorge, one of the most famous archaeological sites on Earth. It bears within its layered walls a human fossil record spanning almost 2 million years. Today, the proud Maasai people dwell here. They too follow a nomadic existence along the edges of the Serengeti, ever seeking good grazing for their cattle herds. The Maasai believe that heaven gave them, and no other people, all the cattle on earth. And from their treasured cattle, they still draw a staple of the Maasai warrior diet, a mixture of milk and blood. The age of predators still encompasses the world of the Maasai. From this and nearby villages, leopards have taken 3 infants within the year. Once the most formidable warriors in East Africa, the Maasai still defend their cattle and families with spears. Some are born on the Serengeti, some seek it out. Today, a growing human migration from the outside world can witness a spectacle of wildness long vanished elsewhere. Tanzania and Kenya have preserved vast areas as national parks and game reserves, proclaiming them a world heritage of all mankind. The support from tourism is now indispensable to the survival of this heritage. linking the destiny of the Serengeti with the visitors who pass in awe. The Serengeti they behold is changing, threatened by population growth and poaching, but vigorously protected as well. Elephant herds that once fled poachers are returning, now protected by an ivory moratorium. Nourished again by the Serengeti and encouraged by greater safety, the herds are multiplying rapidly. On the Masai Mara, the storms of October approach. And with the return of the rains, the herds will resume the great migration toward their ancestral calving grounds in the south. But ahead, they face their greatest peril. To reach the south, the herd must cross the Mara River, now swollen by the rains. In these waters, it is still the age of dinosaurs, and the crocodile reigns supreme.
I don't know what our words really are. It's fun to sing it anywhere. No one knows I'm a threat to our lives. He could lead us all.
Many that survive the crocodiles fall prey to the river itself. Some drown, some are trampled, some are too exhausted to save themselves. Through the year, in the course of the Great Migration, 250,000 wildebeests will have died. But the migration moves on through the long journey south, returning finally to the short grass plains where the miracle of the Serengeti unfolds. The mass breeding earlier in the year culminates in mass birth. In the brief span of a few weeks early in the wet season, almost 500,000 wildebeest calves are born. A strategy that overwhelms predators and ensures the survival of a new generation. To survive in the midst of predators, newborn calves must be able to stand within minutes of birth. Those unable to stand must be abandoned. Once more, on the plains of the Serengeti, life is more powerful than death. And there remains a place on earth where it is still the morning of life, and the great herds still run free.